Evening everybody. Hello. Welcome back to the pigsty tonight for all the nice people. Oh, my volumes are all out of whack. Hold on, let me just sort that. Is somebody flicking their mic? Oh, there we go. Let me know if the audio, the visuals all good for people in the chat, all the 6 people watching. Let's Debate had their very first live stream tonight. We are very lucky to have Let's Farm and Sparrow, 2 of the owners, runners, whatever you want to call them, managers. We're not even going to go into contracts and non sequitur bullshit because that'll be another 4-year long fucking conversation. But they are running a Discord server that, how many people's in your Discord, Sparrow Farm?
Just over 2,100, I think.
Oh, just over 2,100. All right. So there's 2,000 plus people in a genuine Discord server. They've been doing really well. I've been lucky enough, Let's Farm let me help them out and stuff. And I've been lucky enough, I got to see one of the moderators' chats. He tried to show me, what was happening and stuff. And I really do think that they're doing a great job over there. So, yeah, Let's Farm, you're a mod in my chat. So post the link, post to the Discord. If you want genuine debate, like actual debate, like it's not discussion or anything like that, it is a debate server. So if you want to go in and have a debate, have a discussion, there's multiple channels, all this sort of stuff's going on. And the rules are very basic, don't be a dick, be respectful, they slam it down, they understand where people are coming from. And as I said, they had their first live stream on YouTube tonight. They've done a couple of debates on Discord. Well, they do lots of debates on Discord for fucking years. But they've started to record them, upload them, and they'll be doing more panels and shit like that. So, yeah, I don't know. Sparrow, Let's Farm. Is there anything I missed?
No, that was a fair description. I'm getting that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
So, on that note, we had the conversation earlier. They did their very first open panel. We had it set up and stuff. They were blah, 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 chat. The topic was religion and cult. How do you tell the difference between a religion and a cult? Is a religion a cult? How do you tell? Blah, blah, blah. And over the course of that, we have met, I have met, the channel has met, people met. We have met Elusive Viper, and we have met Cosmological Argument. Everybody knows Geo, Geo's just an old stable, wonderful man. Loves his GIMP masks. GIMP software.
What's up, Geo?
Hello. So, Sparrow, I give you the floor after Let's Farm because people know Let's Farm. So, Sparrow, would you like to introduce yourself, and then we'll ask Elusive Viper and then Cosmologic to introduce themselves. So, for the people who don't know, Sparrow, background, anything you want to say, and just about you.
I'm Sparrow, and I am stay-at-home mom. I make candles, and I like debate. I spend quite a bit of time on Discord. And can't see him, but next to me on the floor, I've got my service dog, Mr. Wilford Brimley.
Oh, I like that. When there's a long name, there's always a story. What type of dog is he?
Golden Retriever.
I'm a German Shepherd, so and I don't know if you can see. Hold on, is it there?
Oh, there's a story there.
See this white and brown blur? He'll be 19 on the April the 5th. He'll be 19. This wee shit here behind me.
Oh crap!
I tried to. There was 2 German Shepherds that I had in training, and they both failed out of the program. That's what I wanted, was a German Shepherd.
Right. You see, I've had 3 German Shepherds, and one that was actually a cross. Right. When we grew up, we found out he was a cross. We bought it cheap, but. I don't know. Look into Middle Eastern Shepherds, Sparrow. They were bred. Now, don't anybody bloody judge me here, but they were bred by the Russian government and the KGB to be German Shepherd-like, but get rid of the hip dysplasia. They also matched it and bred it with a few dogs that were built for the cold around there. The KGB kept all the exact pure black versions, and the other. It's basically a German Shepherd with no hip problems and about a foot taller. And not really black and tan, more grey and white. They look class. Middle Eastern Shepherds. So there we go. That's Sparrow. Elusive Viper.
Hi, how's it going? I'm actually also in the Let's Debate server. I'm an admin there. I've been there for it's coming up on a year and a half now.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I enjoy debates, and religious debates is something I tend to take part in fairly frequently. So, religion and cult kind of seemed interesting to me, so that's why I jumped in.
Yeah, so the topic would have suited you tonight perfectly. Is religion, how do you tell the difference between a religion and a cult?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
It would have suited you perfectly tonight then, the topic, considering how you just described yourself. It was like, hey, I'm going to jump onto this because this is me.
No, I think we've actually I've debated that a couple times in the server, so
Yeah.
a little familiar.
Cosmological argument. Would I be right in saying that in YouTube chat you were thinking 101? Would we be the same person?
Yeah, it's me, the same person, yeah.
Yeah, just to make sure that if you type in the chat, in the live chat, people will know that thinking 101 in the YouTube live chat is cosmological argument. Would you like to give a wee bit of background for yourself? You're also in Let's Debate, and a wee bit of background about you.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm 20 years old. I'm from Egypt, and I'm a study philosophy, I think, soon enough. So, yeah, and I hope I debate about philosophical topics, relating to philosophy of religion and also other philosophical topics. So, yeah.
One thing...
Also,
yeah, well, if I can.
I have
Oh, go on ahead. Sorry, no, go on ahead.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with symptoms of psychosis, and I have OCD, like severe pure OCD. Like I'm taking medications, but they're not working. They haven't worked yet. So yeah.
I'm an equal opportunities asshole. I will interrupt as much as other people interrupt, and I will be a hypocrite to the point where I will shout at people when they interrupt other people. But I will, nobody's going to kick you unless you make insults. Nobody's going to kick you unless you say any of the words that YouTube doesn't like and sort of stuff like that. We're here for a nice discussion. We're here for a talk and stuff, And everybody generally gets their time. I try my best to be as fair as I can. One of the things I wanted to ask specifically you, Cosmological, because if I could go around the room, Let's Farm, Sparrow, me, Geo, and from what I've got from Elusive Viper, I would say that we are all non-theist. Would everybody else, the other 4 people in the panel, agree with me, except for Cosmo? The other 4 people agree we're all non-theists of some form.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm Muslim, by the way.
Pardon?
I'm Muslim.
Well, I was just going to say theist. I didn't want, okay, you're Muslim.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, but yeah.
You said just before you sort of, I don't want to say tried to get something going, but it was like, I can understand your OCD and going down rabbit holes. You said atheism is harmful.
Well, I can say that. But
I know you
like
can say
was,
that. You did say that.
No. Well, Elusive was defining what is a cult, and he said that it's something harmful, or so I said that if atheism is if the definition of cult is harmful, then of course atheism is a cult. Therefore, because it's harmful. If you get what I mean.
Oh yeah,
Well,
somebody in the chat earlier, somebody in the live chat at the very start defined a cult as signing over your financial status. There was a whole money conversation. That was the point that they were making, and their specific wordage. I asked them if they were talking about marriage, because the exact words that they were using could also be used to. You're giving up financial status, you have to share things and give away your financial... An argument could be made for the words that they use for marriage. Just because these things interlace and interact with each other doesn't mean that they're the same. Correlation, causation, analogy, doesn't make them the same. What I'm asking you is, you said atheism is harmful, and I'm asking you why you believe so.
Well, I know it's harmful because I can't really say right now why is it harmful, but it's atheism. Like, we all know what atheism is.
No, that's exactly.
If you
Would
listen
you
to-
mind, if I can, sorry to interject, we all know what atheism is. Would you define then what
Yeah.
you think we all know? Because in my opinion, atheism is answer question. It's not a worldview, okay? So I just want to slam that down and make sure that that's there. Christianity does sort of include a worldview. Muslim does include a worldview. There's lots of things. Atheism, from how we describe it, is just an answer to a question. Now, I wouldn't personally define myself as an atheist, but that is what it is. Atheism is just the answer to a question. So taking that into account.
Or maybe more specifically,
don't
the
mind.
lack of an answer to a question.
Even better. See, this is why we brought this boy over. Look at how
Yeah,
smiley he
I don't
is.
mind all of that. Look, it's just that I haven't studied atheism yet, but like, I'm gonna study it soon. Like, all I'm saying that I know it's harmful, so even if it's not harmful, then it's okay. But based on my knowledge, like, it's harmful, okay? Because it has something to do with evolution theory and being an animal. Like,
You
I don't know
keep
if it's
saying it
the right
is
word, but
harmful. It is harmful. It is harmful. Can you give me an example?
Well, it sounds like you haven't really studied it yet. How are you making such a strong statement that it is in fact harmful if you haven't really looked into it?
What do you study? I don't understand what you can study
In
about
its very
atheism. It's
basic,
just
as Sparrow was saying, in its very basic, most simple form, it's the answer to a question or the lack of an answer to a question. Like, okay, what we're going to do, cosmological, right? Rather than you assuming, we're going to work our way around the panel as I see it on YouTube. So first and foremost is Let's Farm. Let's Farm. Could you define atheism for me?
No belief in a god or gods.
Okay, Sparrow, you're next. Could you define atheism for me?
a lack of belief in God or gods.
I see a pattern happening here. Geo, you're next.
Yeah, well, I define it as a position based on claims made by believers. That's why I'm an atheist.
Oh, I like that.
And that's how I define it. I define it based on the claims of theists or believers. Because otherwise, if there were no claims, I wouldn't be an atheist. There would be no atheists. That's how I define it.
I like the caveat. Similar, but
That
more
makes sense.
personal. Elusive Viper, would you give us your definition?
Yeah, I think a lot of people like to say it's the belief that there is no God, but I think it's gonna make a lot more sense if you just say the lack of a belief in any given God, because you could define God to be anything.
If anybody in the freaking chat says anything that begins with S or M, I'm gonna shoot them. Okay, just making that clear. Geo's probably the only person here that gets that joke, and maybe a few in the live chat. But if anybody says nah, we're gonna go fucking apeshit. Yeah, no, I would agree with you. So I personally, like, I don't want to define an atheist because I don't define myself as an atheist. In this sort of conversation, and to be the best descriptor of who I am, too cosmological, understanding the way you like to talk and the topics that you're into. I would describe myself as a true agnostic because I have experienced things that I cannot yet explain, but I do live my life as if God doesn't exist, and I would consider myself atheistic-ish towards the Christian God because I could logically prove there's contradictions in the Bible, and that's the of like. I think that's the best. Well, I don't think that's the best. Fucking Amber made me fucking pick that. But that's how I would describe myself. You know, I live my life as if God doesn't exist. I consider myself an agnostic, completely open, but I probably could make an argument that the Christian God is a contradiction.
Yeah, just to clarify, I would generally consider myself an agnostic, but I have a slightly different definition. I would say that I can't really know anything about God, so for the most part, I wouldn't care. Like I don't think any. It's weird to kind of hear from somebody who does do some more religious debates, but I don't.
Do you understand the concept of God?
Yeah.
Do you think it's logically plausible?
It depends on which God you're talking about. Generally, no.
Oh, Elusive, you and our friend Amber should have a chat. Amber would describe themselves as an atheist, and an atheist is the idea that the idea of God doesn't make sense.
I mean, I've met some really weird people that will like define God as like the idea of a god, or God as a caterpillar, or like it's. You can go to such weird.
A collection of ideas.
Or,
Leo,
just
come on
the
in.
idea
Leo,
that God
Leo,
exists
come on in. Leo, hold on.
Is the proof that God exists.
Where's Richard when you need him?
We're gonna invite Leo Phileas in. Leo is in the nicest way possible. Leo is a sponge. Leo just absorbs knowledge. He has a very good brain. No, generally a very good brain. He also likes to overtalk me, and I shout at him sometimes, but we love each other. But Leo, come on in the fuck. We can have a. He's describing you as not expressing agnosticism, but describing atheism. Am I pronouncing that correct?
It's possible.
He likes his words. I personally don't like labels. All right.
Well, apathy? Is that what you said? Apatheism? Is that what you said?
I think that's the pronunciation of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's like you don't care about gods. You don't even talk about gods. There's no gods. Who cares? God's God, no gods.
I mean, I think it's something that would just follow from the idea that we can't know anything about God.
Yeah.
Which,
I can't.
In all fairness, is not the technical definition of agnosticism. I'm aware, but in use, that is I don't know is generally how agnosticism is kind of described.
No, it's a very hard thing that I do not like asking fucking labels. The whole idea of what I do here is here's my second favorite person. Leo! Welcome, Leo.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Just finishing up some notes from my opening statement for my debate with David Paulman on Tuesday.
Would you, if you can, really quickly, I know that's a contradiction asking Leo to do really quickly, but can you very quickly define what you would have as agnosticism, and then would define as, am I pronouncing it right? Apatheism?
Yes.
Right. So would you define the differences between them, please?
So, well, I should say I misspoke a little bit, because technically apatheism is a form of non-theism, so it would be consistent with both atheism and agnosticism.
Well,
Agnosticism was initially coined by T.H. Huxley with respect to how it's utilized today by linguists and philosophers and scientists and everything like that. And what it represents is a suspension of judgment on the proposition that God exists. So it would be somebody who would say, I don't have enough knowledge or information to believe that God exists, but I also don't have enough knowledge or information to believe that God doesn't exist. I'm suspending judgment on the proposition that God exists.
Whenever I was talking, because the only person on the panel here that I described all of us as non-theists and theists. I wanted to split it that way rather than be pedantic, because I feel that apatheism, agnosticism, all these fucking labels, they're very effective when you're having a conversation with people who give a shit about this. But there's nobody else in this panel apart, well, maybe half and half, who give a shit, right? But if we have that conversation, the other half gets bored. Well, we can have that conversation if we break down the labels. audience, if we get people interested, if we discuss what I feel is stories. Like, I'd rather ask, say Sparrow, right? Me and Sparrow have had a couple of conversations in Discord. You were over here, I think, for the first night the other night, Sparrow, yes? I have
Yes.
no idea of your religious background. I have no idea of why you're here, except you joined Let's Farm, Let's Debate, Modern Day Debates Discord a year and a half ago, I think you said. You know, that's basically all I know about you. I trust you, and I take you as a good person because of what Let's Farm said. But I've no information on you. You know, I'd rather ask you a story than say, can you give me 6 labels? Like, tell me a story of why you left Christianity. Tell me a story of when you were in Christianity. Do you see what I mean, Leo? Sorry to talk to Sparrow and ignore you. But just...
Well, I mean, I agree with you to the extent that I think that it would be more fruitful if a lot of atheists, instead of making the distinction as theism, atheism, would make the distinction theism, non-theism, rather than conflating atheism as being synonymous with non-theism as a broad category, because I don't think that it is.
I already warned people
but
in the chat about saying
to-
anything that sounds like, you know, nobody's allowed
To wrap up, so apatheism is the idea that one doesn't really care if a God exists or not. They're apathetic to the proposition God exists. So you could be an agnostic where you don't really know if God exists or not, and you don't really believe either way, and also an apatheist where you don't really care if God exists or not. That's just not something you really care about. You could also be an atheist, someone who believes that God does not exist, and also an apatheist, someone who also doesn't care if he exists or not.
Well, that's the thing. They all overlap. I feel that when you mention labels, that people...
Well, they can overlap, but you don't have to be an apatheist and an atheist or an agnostic. You can be, though.
Use, right? And I haven't used it in quite a while, and you've probably heard me say it before, Leo. I know Geo definitely has, but I feel that labels put me in pigeonholes, and if you put me in a pigeonhole, it just makes me easier to shoot. You know, like, you assume things. If I say to you, like, you know, Cosmological come in, and one of the very first things they said to us was like, "Hi, I'm a Muslim." You know, everybody in the chat thought this thing. Everybody in the chat thought this. Everybody in the panel thought a thing. You know, they all have their own things where they go to when someone says that. When someone says Christian, when someone says Scientology, you know, you have a label where you go to. And I've met an awful lot of Christians, and they're not the same as what you would meet in America. But, you know, we're not as much fundamental over here. So it's labels, I find, make it easier for people to be knocked down. It's easier, and it's better, to talk to people, ask them questions, get interested in this sort of shit, you know?
I mean, I definitely think you're right when you say that labels, that when we utilize categories and we sort of put people into categories, that it can provide a way for others to sort of make broad generalizations about any individual that identifies themselves with that category that might not necessarily be true when you start breaking the category or the demographic down on an individual basis. But I think at the same time that it is still meaningful for humans to, categorize things, including ourselves socially. And I think that this is why doing so has persisted so prevalently within human society, particularly within the ways that we organize. I mean, think about it. If I told you that I'm a Marxist, which I am, sure, there might be people that misinterpret what it is that I mean, that they think that I think that it's okay to, like, kill tens of millions of people, even though Marxism really doesn't have any. Anyway, that's a different discussion. That might be true, but at the same time, me saying that I'm a Marxist can and does still convey meaningful information about the ways that I look at the world. And so I still think that there can certainly be utility with respect to categorizing people. I just think that we need to recognize that when we start hearing people talk about individuals in a category or a demographic in ways that where there's a lot more emotional language there rather than informative language, pick up on that and recognize that they're probably making sweeping generalizations, and you should probably be skeptical of what they're saying.
Okay. Thank you. That was very informative and lots of information, Leo. This is why we love you. I'd like to thank Father Adams. I think your name is different when you come in. Gomez Adams, whenever you come in, maybe. I think I've seen you in the chat and stuff. We've never talked before. Maybe have. Stephanie, always lots of love. And there's a person in the background Corey Flockstar, I don't know, you were doing some wavy things and all, like you scared me, and I know Stephanie, so we'll maybe.
Well, I
let
would
you
say,
in.
what's the meaning of life, though? Because
goodness, I'm kicking
that
fucking Father
everybody
Adam's
says that.
Where's this
that
button
the,
you're kicking? The meaning of life. What the fuck? This is a YouTube show.
Well, what kind of theory of meaning are you? No, I'm just fucking around. I'm just
I'm
throwing
saying,
a
like,
wrench in purposefully.
'cause everybody uses the church meaning of life, but actually,
42.
if you think
That's
about
the
it,
fucking answer you're gonna get.
if you think
42.
about it, the meaning of
42.
life is doing yourself. You're
See, Randy
doing the
knows
stuff on your own instead of going to church and trying to preach it all the time. They should learn it on their own and not have to worry about some dude that's like preaching and don't know a
No.
lot about life.
Father Adams.
I could say like
Worse than Leo.
I could agree with the atheists at some point, because like you don't see Jesus preaching in the church and shit. You didn't see what you call it going to church. The reason why there's churches nowadays is so people can make a get rich quick scheme, and it's if you really want to preach to somebody, do it outside, do it someplace that people can see, instead of being in a church and go, hey, give me some donations. I feel like I'm a YouTuber if I keep asking for donations.
What you just described is what I would call a spiritual Christian, and I say that in over years of, because I've known her my entire life. She's my mother. She's a Christian, and she was like, why do you need to go to church? God's everywhere. It's like, why do I need to listen to this asshole tell me why I'm going to hell? She believes in Jesus Christ. She believes that, heaven and hell exist. She doesn't go to church, doesn't do rosary, technically. But that is it, just like she lives her life and goes on about it, and like we've talked about it, and the only time that she really feels the need to pray is when she can't physically actually help someone.
Yeah.
That.
Well, like I could say, like, after you die, is it like you don't know if there's gonna be an afterlife, or if it's just gonna be a black hole.
My mother will
in your
swear
life.
she had a near-death experience and actually spoke to a ghost for 2 days, the woman who died in the hospital bed beside her, and when she told her mother about it, the woman never came back again. My mother's side of the family have had a lot of experiences. Alright? We're not going to say that there's magic mushrooms growing in the backyard and around, but they've had a lot of experiences.
I mean, you guys think that? I mean, you would say that we might not know what quote unquote happens after you die, but we can make inferences about what quote unquote happens after you die. And I say quote unquote because happens after you die, in my mind, sounds like saying north of the North Pole. There is no happens after you die because you're dead.
If I can say, right, sorry to interrupt you, Leo, but Dirty Cat Mechanic, best name. You get like top points for tonight. Best name.
That is a pretty sweet name.
That's a fucking
Dirty Cat Mechanic. Oh, dude, I don't know who that person is. I don't know who that person is, but you should let him in the stream so that we can talk about cat engines.
We've even got a Dan Snot in there, but sorry, Dirty Cat Mechanic.
Like anyways, I like I said, the Bible is shit. I don't know why everybody likes the Bible for, because there's so many iterations of the Bible that people don't know which one's real and which one's not.
My granny had a stroke.
I think that's a little strong. I think the Bible has I'm saying this as somebody who's not a Christian. The Bible does have a handful of good philosophical messages from it that have continued into modern Western society. It's a lot of what Western society has been built on. So I don't know if we would want to completely discount it, but certainly it does have a lot of things that.
Well, the Adam and Eve thing is bullshit.
Yeah.
Moses
the whole idea that anything
bullshit.
that's just proven wrong is just, oh, it's suddenly poetic. That's a little much. But I don't think we should throw the baby out with the bathwater there.
And the thing is, with people these days that do go to church, they're just doing it because they feel guilty for something in their lives, and it's funny. Like, people
You think
that
that's why
used to-
people go to church?
Yeah.
You don't think that it's broad cultural traditions
No.
that have been rooted in humanity for
it's
thousands
I
of
think
years?
it's guilt for these.
Why do you think people
Corey, we're
know,
full.
go to
We've
school?
got 9 people. I can't let you in until someone leaves. And,
Well, the thing is, if it's guilt now, because people are like, they're questioning
why do you think that,
their
though?
life. They're questioning their lives about,
But what makes you
Why-
think that, though? What makes you
'Cause-
think this about these people?
because lately you'd never seen the people that used to go to church were like the spiritual people. If you look at people nowadays, it's people to look to hook up with someone instead of being actual like church going people.
You know, I have to
Well,
be a
hang
little
on.
honest
That's
here.
just- I'll be real. The last time I was in church was in November because I had to be, and the congregation was around my age mostly.
I'm sorry.
you're a wee bit
robot
clicky,
really
Stephanie. I think your lead might be loose or something. A wee bit. Just
Oh, yeah?
clicky. Electric.
Yeah, your mic
We
is
can
screwed
understand
up.
you, but it's just a little bit robot-y.
Yeah, it's as if the lead's loose. That's all.
But I just wanted to say really quickly about what Father Adams said. Now, I think that there might be a grain of truth in some things that he's saying, but I think it kind of plays back to what me and MathPig were talking about broad generalizations. I just don't think it would be accurate to say about all religious people who attend church that there's some sort of like ulterior motive rooted in like guilt or something like that drives them to do so. I think it's largely going to be culturally based.
Well, at some areas, yes, but most areas it's mostly guilt with pleasure, basically, because they're trying to find something in their lives to learn something, and try to get a grip on reality. And all this shit's going on nowadays with the political crap. It's hurting people. Like
Isn't
it's
that
like
what
The
you'd
funny thing is, a
expect
lot
from
of studies
religion?
show that a sense of community is actually higher amongst religious people than it is amongst non-religious
Thank you
people.
for joining.
And
Lucas.
that membership in a church and participation in church is actually one of the leading factors of that. So
That
it
sounds
seems
like
that
bullshit right
participation in the
there.
church. Well, I mean, you can say that, but there are empirical. I can't pull them right now. It'd take me probably a few minutes to find them.
Well,
But there
no,
are
like-
empirical studies that have shown that this is true.
Yeah, but is that because that is traditionally like the thing that people were forced / obligated to do? Like, if we based our society around everybody watching Monday Night Football, well, then I feel like that there'd be a very, very clear alignment of views around Monday Night Football.
If you're talking about
Sure, I'm
football
not
now.
talking
Wait, hold
about-
up. People like it's churches is like football now. People that go to church or football, it's usually like they're on like, you know, like we want to be on this, we want to go on this trend. Basically, it's all a trend nowadays. It's not about religion anymore. It's all about trends.
Everything's trends.
Well, I just wanted to say I'm not saying like what the reasons why the church might be a sense of community for people. I think that it's largely going to be rooted in cultural traditions more than anything. I was just pointing out that it is an empirically demonstrable fact that a sense of community is higher amongst people who are religious than it is amongst people who are non-religious.
Yeah, but are you, if you're looking at that study, is that comparing people who are religious versus people who share another similar interest, like could religiously watch football or play or are in some other sort of organized community?
I don't know how like sports would have factored into their
Well,
study.
because if you're trying to answer this specific question, it's really going to matter as to whether it's religion doing it or just anything or any organized cultural activity in general.
Well, so I wasn't really saying anything about
I
like
understand.
reasons why. All I was doing was adducing what I said as sort of some confounding data to what it was that Father Adams was talking about with respect to the motives that people have for going to church. I wasn't making any statements about why the empirical data shows this or what it really means. Simply adducing it to confound a point that Father Adams was making.
Gotcha.
Hey, Lucas, you got anything to go on this?
Lucas, I think we've talked
About what
before.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you
I'm
saying?
just saying, Lucas, have we talked before? I
We're
think we've
saying
talked before,
we're
yeah.
talking about how I was saying
I
that
don't know.
that church nowadays it's like a Tinder type crap, like trying to find someone instead of being like super religious.
Well, there's whores in every subset, right?
Yeah.
So.
I guess I don't really know what a whore is, but
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Well, you
a
said
wording.
it's
We're just gonna
it's
say
like a
wording.
hookup thing.
As I said
Like,
earlier,
you're
like,
going to
people
church.
aren't allowed to insult here. It's, we're not gonna.
No, I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm just saying, like,
It's a derogatory term. I literally said, let's not say words that YouTube doesn't like. So.
I didn't know YouTube didn't like that word. They have like naked yoga and
It's
stuff
very
like that.
big.
So
We're
it's-
being big. Just.
all right, my bad. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a little confused by the whole generalization that like people are in church are more promiscuous. That's never really something I've really seen.
Agreed.
Oh, I see it enough. It's pretty pathetic.
So
It's like-
so what's the actual? I'm just coming across this stream. Like, what's the actual point of tonight? What are you trying to get at? Because it's
We're not
been
getting
kind
it
of bouncing
anybody.
around.
This is an after party. Earlier on tonight, Let's Farm and Sparrow had a discussion on the difference between a religion and a cult. And
Oh, that sounds interesting.
yeah. Nobody defined what the fuck a religion or a cult was for at least
Well-
45 minutes of the hour.
Well, I can tell you, a cult.
That's
Religion
strangling
is
the people.
just having like faith. in
Well, a
something, right?
religion is
No, this is just a
basically
hangout. This is the
having
after party
faith,
for
and then a cult is like you're basically following somebody because you kind of like their ideas, but you don't know where it's going.
Well, I
Yeah, but
think
that's
that's what it
faith.
boiled down to. The difference between a religion and a cult would be smaller and more focused on one person.
What I don't know if the focus
Or
on
like
one
a
person is
subset
as
of
in-
Very
ideas.
simply,
Like,
I mean,
made it
Christianity
simple. It was
is
a fucking
focused
hour and
on
a
one
half long
person at the end of the
conversation. Who am I
day.
shouting at?
Well, if you think about it, isn't like religion basically like believes in one person like Jesus and God? So
Yeah.
is it? If you think about it, it's not kind of different, anyways. If you think about that shit.
Yeah,
Because you're-
An argument could
'cause
be
you-
made that a religion and a cult.
Because
the
if
only
you're
difference is-
if you're focused on looking at one person, you're basically calling yourself a cult, basically in religion.
Yeah, so a couple of the big things that we came up with that we agreed that we're probably on the more culty aspect of things is forming some sort of very rigid social barrier between members of the in-group and members of the out-group. So I think an example we used was Scientology or the Jonestown group, where people within the religion were either completely unable or heavily socially prevented from being able to contact members of their family, members of people outside of the religion. And then the other thing would be some sort of punishment for people who are leaving or trying to disbelieve the things said by the whatever authority there was, be it Pope-like character or Jim Jones, whoever's leading the organization.
Well, I gotta say, like, Scientology isn't a religion. It's actually more of a cult than a religion, because I've seen people that were in Scientology, and they're kind of fucked up. They worship one person. They think that anything that's science is kind of fucked up. They don't believe that science is real. I don't know why they call themselves Scientology if they don't believe in science.
Hey man,
It's
there's
like-
people in this call that have baited flat earthers, so
no, what you were saying about like,
Yep.
it's all based on like an in crowd of like a certain ideology or a certain thing. Like you take the vaccinated people, right? Like that's pretty much a cult, right? I mean, that's
Yeah,
blind
pretty much.
faith. It's blind faith in like everything that goes against science, right? They don't give a shit about science. It's just the virtue signaling, right?
Yep. You got that right.
So it can be a set of
keep going down that
principles
route.
or a symbol or something like that.
Okay, I have to ask a quick question for Lucas. Can I ask what the meaning behind hard R in your name is?
It's just a hard R.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
It's my name.
But
Go
if you
on,
go,
Lucas.
sorry. Can I say something? Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Something. No, I'm only kidding. If you go by the bite model, they have a whole thing on a list of, like, they have 19 behavioral control things, a list of behavioral controls, right? And then they have a list of information controls. They'll have like 6 different information control lists with different breakdowns in each category. And then they have a thought control list that has different categories that breaks that down. And then they have an emotion control, your emotional control. They have a whole list of that. So it's, BITE. So if you look at that list, there's a whole crap ton of shit, man, that can be, applied to religions as well as even the Boy Scouts.
So I'm just curious, do you think that model was developed with keeping major religions in mind in order to make sure not to include those religions?
That's
Probably.
a possibility.
That-
Possibility.
The bite
I don't know
model
what
was-
Stephen. I don't know what Hassan's exact goal was with it. I think it was just to help people combat the cultism at the time. The whole thing that was around cults at the time. It was a big thing when he started this. So I think he a little bit jumped on the wagon a little bit, but he did make it was a legitimate actual thing.
Well, do you think?
Hassan came out of the Moonies. He was in the Moonies for a while, and when he got out of the Moonies, he spent a good deal of time as a deprogrammer for people who were
Did you
coming.
say the Goonies?
The Moonies.
Moonies.
Sun Myung
Oh,
Moon.
okay, the Moonies. Okay,
Not
all
the
right.
Goonies, no. Sun
Thanks for
Myung
coming
Moon.
in, Eric. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you. Please be
How are you
respectful.
doing tonight?
Good to see you.
And
I saw this amazing discussion going on. I had to get in here.
Thank you.
He spent a fair amount of time deprogramming people before he got his doctorate and wrote his book and developed the model. So the model was pretty much based on real life experience as well as study. So it's an interesting journey. That guy. I like to think of, you could call anything a cult, but what we're really talking about is high control groups.
Michael's coming in. I'm getting all excited.
I mean, now that you mention high control groups, doesn't Catholicism have their own city?
Vatican City.
Yeah, but the Vatican.
Yeah.
The Vatican. It's not a city. It's their
its
own
own
state.
country.
It's a country.
Country.
Is
Yeah.
It's a
its
city-state,
own
if we
country?
want to get technical.
I think the better argument would be if you look back a couple hundred years when the Vatican could influence world politics by communicating certain countries.
Well,
Just saying, hey, you're not Christian.
Well, if you think
anymore.
about it, you see, like the Queen and all the other stuff, like royalties and stuff. You see that religion is in politics and everything. Like if you read the politics in like becoming a king, you have to say the what the hell they call it, the religious line to becoming a king, to say the line to take the throne. It's so stupid how they do it.
Well, I mean, we can see the downfall of most startup religions and countries is it began with anti-Semitism. Look what happened after the Spanish Inquisition when they exiled all the Jews. And as a born-again Jew, look at that. They got rid of all the Jews in Spain, and then their economy fell. All I'm
And
saying
Muslims.
Yeah, and they got rid of everybody but themselves.
Is
So they
that
didn't-
more because it was against the Jews, or because Christians weren't allowed to charge?
No, it was against the Jews.
No,
It
I'm
was
just
against the
asking
Jews.
this more because I'm not asking if the downfall of the economy is because they got rid of Jews, or was it because Christianity wasn't allowed to charge?
Look at
interest?
look at all 109 societies that kicked out the Jews. Their
It's
economy
not-
fell every time. Look at Germany.
It's
Look
not
what
Germany,
happened in
historically
Germany.
Before World War
accurate.
II,
It
Germany
is
was
not-
3-minute
Was-
warning
it
on
is
the
not-
whole Jew world.
Before
war.
World-
Someone
it is-
just
Before
it is
World War
not-
II,
3-minute warning.
Germany
was
Michael,
on the top of the
3-minute
list,
warning.
and then they
Let's-
kicked out the
one at a
Jews.
time,
Everybody's
guys.
over talking
It is
me and my
not-
channel. I
it is
mute the
not.
whole fucking lot of you. 3-minute warning.
It-
Thank you for joining,
Oh.
Michael. I'd like to keep it on not that sort of come on.
I'm wearing a yarmulke right now.
It is.
Look.
It is not. It is not historically accurate
That
to
looks like a Jew
say.
to me.
I'm sorry. Am I talking or not? Can people hear me?
I can hear
Yes,
you.
yes, I hear you.
Okay.
now. I hear you now.
Would it be okay if I finished a sentence?
Yes, sir.
It's
Ma'am.
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 Okay? It is not historically accurate to say that Spain's economy collapsed after the expulsion of the Jews and the Muslims, because that happened in 1492, the year that Columbus
Sailed the
did
ocean blue.
did the dirty in
Did the
And,
dirty? What do you think he was having sex? No, he basically
I was talking.
sailed.
I was talking.
Well, I'm just saying he sailed the land and he was looking for new areas. He wasn't just looking for slaves.
You sailed
I
the
was
sea.
talking. I was talking.
How do you
You
sail
act
land?
like he was like humping everything in sight.
Yeah. Okay. Where's my duct tape? I'll put it over my mouth again. Let me finish my thought, would you? 1492, Spain basically found a place to rape for silver, for gold. It became the wealthiest nation in Europe and held that position until the Spanish Armada went down going around England.
Where'd you learn your
still
history from?
And they still. I was a history major at Brandeis University.
Well, they taught you wrong because basically
Did they
Spain
really?
was yes.
Okay.
At what university?
Who do you think loaned Spain all
Brandeis.
that money?
Where is that at?
Christopher Columbus.
Everybody is just
I've never heard of
over
it.
talking everybody. You can't ask a person
I-
where did you get educated. They give you.
I would.
Like, what
I
is
would
your
beg
education
you-
compared
We're
to
so
them?
far off
I
topic.
would beg you.
It was
to-
just
I
a
would
No,
small
hold on,
language.
no.
Read.
Shut the fuck up, everybody. You can't ask Stephanie a question, then disregard her answer. She has tried a couple of times. She probably would take maybe 60 seconds to 2 minutes to finish a point. It's now been 15 or 20. Stephanie, you're being a big thing. I'm trying to give you the floor. Alright? Everybody is over talking. Let her finish. It'll take less time than over talking. And don't disrespect. If you have a better education than her in this field,
So far, I've been misgendered, overtalked, disrespected, told I was an idiot. Guess that maybe.
and
I'll
I
just-
have just
I
stepped
was just
in to
asking
try
where
and
the
stop
school
all
was,
of that
that's all.
Stephanie. Nobody was
Brandeis
Me
University,
too.
founded in 1948, the year of Israel's founding, by Jewish American people who had a devotion to higher education. It's got a very, very high rating. It's one of the most expensive
So liberal
schools nowadays.
college.
What's up? My bad, man. Like, I'm not trying to like.
Yes, a
fucking-
college of liberal arts. Anybody else want to jump in and tell me how dumb I am?
Never said you're dumb.
I was just
asking.
liking the compliment that you went to a Jewish school.
Michael! Hi!
Hello.
How's your
How's it
Saturday?
going?
Did you get all your homework marking done?
Not yet. No. I'm a-
Here's another educated man that people would like to shout out.
Although,
Michael, would
based
you like
off
to-
of the
would you,
based off the conversation, I don't know if y'all want a history teacher here.
did you go to a fucking liberal school too? Are you a liberal history teacher?
I went to some very liberal schools. Yeah.
Oh god damn it! We have to kick you two for fuck's sake, man.
Would you care to correct my accounting of the growth of Spain's wealth based on silver and gold in Central and South America?
Well, I
and
mean,
the
somebody loaned them.
Conquest.
No, hold on.
Well,
He was directly asked.
Let me finish a fucking sentence once.
Yeah, I'm shouting at him for interrupting you, Stephanie. I'm shouting at him for interrupting you.
I know. I'm not yelling. I'm not talking to you, MathPig.
Don't shoot.
And thank you so much for attempting to moderate this panel, which clearly doesn't want to hear what I have to say.
I'm
No, I
sorry
didn't-
for interrupting you, dude. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Fuck me.
I didn't hear anything incorrect. that
I was
Stephanie
talking to
said.
the guy in the top left corner.
I would also just add and emphasize that Spain was highly genocidal, and what Columbus did was absolutely horrendous. And you could call that a liberal education. I mean, there's a ton of history books out there. I'd highly recommend Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States. Chapter 1 is about Columbus's encounter with the Arawak natives in the Caribbean. Yeah, it's I don't, as far as like the history of Spain, I should know a little bit about that, but I don't. But it sounded good. Stephanie, thank you for sharing.
And in to further the background, the Reconquista and all of that stuff, my sub-major was Near Eastern and Judaic Studies. So I know a lot about the Umayyad state in Granada and the history of Spain and the history of the Reconquest and the fact that Christendom would never have known Aristotle at all had it not been for Ibn Rushd, who was in Umayyad Spain and was basically the guy that Thomas Aquinas copied in introducing that famous what's the first cause bullshit. Any other questions?
Just a shout out to the autist formerly known as Greg. You don't need a cameraman. You can come in on an icon as Elusive Viper has done. You just need to give it access and then you can go out. Dr. Till, warning. That's it. Anybody else
I
with
was just
anything
gonna say,
productive to add to the conversation? Sparrow, Let's Farm. This is a whole after party for your discussion. So would you like to contribute to this discussion?
Oh, I'm enjoying listening right now. I'm glad.
Oh no, get the fuck involved here, man. Don't put the fucking weight
What
on
the-
my shoulders. Come on.
I would like to say it's pretty cool that people from different cultures and everything can meet together and actually
come
have
together.
a discussion. And Stephanie, I'm sorry, I thought ManPig was talking when I was referring. I wasn't talking to you. I thought it was the guy on the top.
There does seem to be a little bit of a delay.
MathPig. I'm sorry, I don't have good eyes.
You know, I feel right, and it's just because of the pronunciation. And don't anybody here on any side of the fence jump off on a fucking gender thing. But ManPig sounds worse than MathPig. It's because of the pronunciation. I'd rather have MathPig. Give me Math.
Would you rather?
Well, I mean,
Would you
I can
rather
call it
ManPig or
MathPig, but
English
like I
pig?
said, next time I have to go renew my license, I'm probably going to have to buy some glasses because I can't see for shit.
Actually, MathPig, I would be more offended. I would be more offended if somebody called you Long Pig, which would be really bad.
I have been called some fucking mad fucking. I am the priest of pork on Twitter right now. If anyone wants to look me up, it's at MathPig_. But if you look for at priest of pork, a friend of mine took my icon. He ran it through his own personal AI art thing and turned me into a priest. And it's a full 3D priest outfit with like.
I would like to hear
That's pretty funny.
I would like to hear the story behind the nickname MathPig.
Yeah, I'm
I was just going to ask that.
Grow a drink real quick. I'll be right back.
For everybody who has come back here, like there's nearly 30 people watching. A lot of the people who have been here have heard this story. The idea of MathPig was originally when I came into the community upwards of about 5 years ago, 2018 April. somewhere in around that. I didn't want to use my original name, so I wanted to come up with a moniker. And everybody is, I'm an atheist. Look at me scream. I'm an anti-theist. Everybody has to put this wee thing afterwards to describe what they are. And I despise, as we talked earlier, about labels. You put me in a pigeonhole, I'm easier to shoot.
I mean, dude, wait. I kind of like labels. They tell me what's in things.
Right. Well, this is what I'm
Kind
saying.
of gives you an expectation.
If you'd let me finish, because you're just as bad with me as you were with Steph.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I understand. Right. Whenever it came to the point of maybe, I think 6 months, 7 months, people were like, I am fucking sick and tired of typing out what I had picked as my name. My name originally was Math Magic Pagan, being described as math, as in a love of science and mathematics and logic. Magic, as in I have experienced things that I cannot yet explain. And pagan, just as a fuck you to the Christians and everyone else, because I like nature and jumping in the river naked, you know. I'm not a Christian. So that's math, magic, pagan. And I felt that was the best descriptor of my religious beliefs coming into the community. Now, we discussed earlier at the start of this stream, or was it fucking... no, it was the start of this stream. My whole fucking, I'm agnostic, live my life without God, and that whole philosophical descriptor that people do fucking yap upon. But after about 6 months to a year, people got really annoyed with having to type out math, magic, pagan in the fucking chat. Like, it's long, you know. And one of the friends suggested MathPig as a joke, because I'm always rolling in the mud with all you dirty Christians. And I changed it, and it stuck. And whenever that happened, Skylar Fiction and Digital Hammurabi, who I know from when they started, shouted me out on their channel, and they shouted me out as MathPig. So someone made me an icon, and I ran with it. That was about 2019, and it started off as a small pigsty, then it was a pigsty in space, and now it's just, I own the universe. I built this place, so it's...
Paganism.
Well, everybody, I hope you have a good time.
Paganism.
Enjoy yourselves.
Father Adams, look at that.
I'm not familiar with that. Is that like Thor and Odin and all that?
And by the way, I thought she was a dude before, so enjoy your life.
That was just mean.
That was
just
absolutely
utterly
that was uncalled for.
What a dick.
And
Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry if I came on a little bit strong there, Eric. I was trying to make a point, and I was interested in your point, and I didn't mean to derail the conversation into a slight historical correction. I agree with you in the most part that everywhere Jews and indeed Muslims at the time, everywhere in Europe where they'd been disenfranchised or kicked out or thrown or shoved into little corners where they couldn't operate, it's been a disaster for the nations that have done
exactly that. It's almost like you don't kick out the hand that feeds you.
Well, I think in general the idea is that anytime you're saying, hey, this group of people who could be productive members of society, we don't want you here, go somewhere else. Like anytime you just are throwing people to the side, you're just going to necessarily have some sort of major issue with your economy.
I apologize.
All I'm saying is there's a reason why we have an Iron Dome over Israel. And that's because it's one of the most precious places left.
Well, you don't want to fuck with the people that control our interest rates, all right? Let's just let sleeping dogs lie there.
That's
it's conspiratorial.
Weird.
It's not really conspiratorial. It's just like it's a known fact that like most financial institutions are.
I mean, come on, over history.
Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, maybe not be anti-Semitic, and
it's a bad move. It brings down every society when you're anti-Semitic.
It brings down every society when you're bigoted.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Can I finish my thought?
Anti-Semitic.
Excuse me. Can I finish my thought?
That's the first time that someone interrupted you and you're demanding. To
I
finish your
interrupted.
thought, so I'm going
I'm
to
sorry.
ignore you and let someone else finish their thought because you did it like 7 times.
All right, all I'm saying is anti-Semitism is hate. And when a society allows hate to keep going, that's when things break down.
I mean,
I would
it's
agree,
never
and
a good thing.
Sorry. I would agree.
No, go ahead.
Everybody's
agree.
being so super polite now. It's wonderful. It's like, oh shit, we're all in
It is
eggshells. Everybody's
Well, I'm
super
not
polite.
trying to like have anyone taping the face up again or anything. Like I'm just
Oh, no,
trying to have a conversation with, you
I
know.
appreciate it. I'm just saying, nobody needs to worry. If anyone steps out of line, we'll all laugh. It's all good. We're all friends. I just thought it was funny how we went from Stephanie with duct tape on her face, one guy shouting another thing, to everybody being, excuse me, Mrs. Excuse me, Mister. May I speak? Can I have permission? I'm putting hand. It's such an extreme. It was so funny. I found it funny.
Is it okay if I ask you what your accent is? Because it kind of sounds Scottish.
I'm Ulster Scot. I'm Northern Ireland.
I thought you were British.
No, Northern Irish. Specifically Northern Irish.
That sounds like fighting words.
Not really,
I know,
because
it's-
I
it's-
get shit from the people I should describe myself as British.
Is anyone British anymore?
I have a
my
British
question, you know?
passport.
Whoa, everybody's British anymore.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I mean, the country's decided to tear itself apart for some peculiar reason. I don't know why.
Ultimately,
part of-
if I
I
can
think-
just say, Judo, you want me to let you in? There's 9 people on the panel. We're literally full. What do you want me to do? You motherfucker, Geo. You
Wait.
motherfucker.
Can I want to share something I've been working on for
Good.
since
I
got
thought you
here.
were going to say, I leave and let you talk to Judo. Don't do that.
And then I'm gonna have to leave.
I
there
have
you
to
go.
leave.
But let me just
I haven't eaten dinner yet.
show this thing that I put together. All right, there it is. It's on my screen.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
We can use that as the icon. We can use that as your icon, by the way. Let's form if I can
see
do
it.
that right.
Speaking of which, is now a good time to plug the server again?
Yeah, plug it like fuck. This is the whole idea of the after party for everybody that's here. Judo, even Judo.
Yeah, everybody go to the Let's Debate server. If somebody doesn't plug it in chat, plug an
The
invite in chat
video-
before I do.
The video is in the description. I've already put the links in the description of this video. You just go to the description, the video's there, click the link, all information. I know that you want me to say judo instead of judo, but it's no, sorry. You know, it's
Yeah, that looks
Talking
really
about
good.
Judo
Yeah,
Christianity.
I really like that.
I also made an icon. I'll just show you that one as well.
there's a big Geo head in the middle. I mean G.I. Joe thing in the middle.
Yeah, that's me.
Love the shirt, by the way.
So do you do a lot? Do you do a lot of debating?
Me? Let's farm.
No,
views.
I'm talking about the guy that has the thing that says "Let's debate."
No. To
That's
give
for our
context,
channel.
That's not
Geo
for me.
is the art man for our wee small community. Geo helps an awful lot of people out. He has very good
artist.
skills. What would take someone 2 days, Geo can do in 5 minutes. He's that skilled. So Geo helps an awful lot of people out because he's a decent guy. So if anyone
Man,
needs artwork, the
I was
person who
thinking-
does the debates is Sparrow, who is directly below you on YouTube. And then Let's Debate, Let's Farm is in the very bottom left-hand corner as of YouTube. Them two, this is the after party for their very first live panel tonight on YouTube.
Oh, you guys did
Oh,
your
well,
first live?
congrats.
Well, they have a Discord with
Yes,
over
we did.
2,000 people in it that's been running now for about 3 years, and they're moving from Discord to YouTube. They have weekly and daily debates, but I'm helping out, but they're going to start moving to YouTube.
I just joined your Discord, by the way. And
I'm
whoops,
gonna
I-
drop. I'm gonna
We
drop
needed to
these.
expand.
I'm gonna drop what I showed off to Let's Farm, and he can handle whatever.
Send it
Okay.
send it to me as well, Gio,
Oh.
because I'm
YouTube.
building the scenes for them and stuff.
All right, so I'll send it to both of you.
yeah, send it to me too.
I'm
Thank
out of
you.
here. I'm out.
Love you.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Yo.
Take care.
Congrats on your first whatever on YouTube.
Thanks. Thanks,
That
Sam.
was a
Thank
backhanded
you.
compliment. I heard
Yeah.
that.
I don't know what to say. That's why I said it that way. I'm sorry. Anyway, good night,
It
everyone.
was our,
Good night.
Good night.
our first Let's Talk.
Weather report from Maine. It's 33 below Celsius.
So I'm kind of curious from the people who who weren't on the or weren't at the premiere there. What do you guys kind of view as being cult-like behavior? Or are there any like larger quote-unquote religions you might consider to be cults?
I mean, I think technically the difference between religion and a cult is how many people.
And how long it's been around.
Yep.
There was an
I'm not saying maybe
Judo,
sometimes they
please
come
wait
up
your
with
turn.
good stories.
Sorry, Eric. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm shouting at Judo. Please wait your turn.
I'm just correcting people.
I don't care. I'll fucking mute you. You just wait your turn. Eric was ignorant earlier, and I shouted at him, and now he has his time, and he was polite after that, and I'm going to do the same to you. So just wait.
I mean, pretty much, I guess the difference between religion and cult would be, if it's actually a true religion would be malice.
Sorry, what do you mean by true religion?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to offend people, but I don't really believe in a true religion.
No, sure. I think I think at this point most of the people here probably agree, but like that's kind of why I asked, because if no religion is true, that would kind of lead me to believe that all religions would be cults.
But it's like why you tell your kid fairy tales with moral stories. To me, that way they have a sense of moral.
Sure, but like
they have a morality to them. If you take a little kid and just grow him up nihilist, he's gonna be a terrible person. There's no doubt about that.
Sure, but I think we need some sort of a term to differentiate it between like Christianity and Judaism and Islam and religions like Charles Manson and Jim Jones.
I think I can make somewhat of a
Charlie
distinction.
didn't really have a religion.
Well, Jim Jones certainly
If I
did.
can, Michael has been quiet for a while. I'd like to give Michael the floor. Michael did
I'm
try-
quiet
Can I
most
go
of the
after
time.
this person?
No. You can be quiet and you can let Michael talk, and then I was going to give you the
Yeah,
floor.
but can I go
after? I was going to give you the floor afterwards because you've just joined. So let Michael talk first. Wait your turn, please.
Wait, can I say one thing about Michael? He looks like Bert Kreischer, the comedian.
Thank you, I
Michael's
suppose.
a sexy man. But Michael, go on ahead.
So I appreciate that. Most people tell me I look like the caveman from the Geico commercial when I had hair for all.
You gotta take your shirt off before you can
You,
actually.
you,
know.
you don't know what Bert Kreischer
Gotta pay
looks
money
like,
for that.
do you?
Yeah, that's on
if
the
he's
Oscar
famous.
Foxtrot.
He's famous. You gotta at least be decent looking. So, it was a good question. I think it was Elusive Viper that asked the question about the difference between religion and cult. And I'm sympathetic to this largely because I have to teach like world religions and I have to teach about cults as well. And it's difficult and I teach at a completely secular school. On the one hand, there's something tangible about cults in the sense that there's something, and this is probably not going to be the distinction that you're looking for, but typically speaking, with cults, there's something either socially unacceptable or harmful that's happening within the cult that is doing harm to the individuals in some way, shape, or form, whether it's physical or sexual harm, or whether it's separation of the person from their family, or whether it's isolation of the individual. And most I'll say mainstream religions as opposed to true religion to avoid the epistemology of it. But a lot of mainstream religions can be quote unquote healthy in that regard, in the sense that they don't isolate people from their families. There's no physical or sexual violence, unless you're going to take into things like genital mutilation of children with certain practices. But generally speaking, I think the distinguishing, the drawing line is that cults involve some sort of, whether it's social, physical, mental isolation, some sort of harm that's being done to the individual that participates in it, is I think one distinction I would make.
Yeah, I think that's pretty true. Just a quick clarifying question, and then I know somebody else wanted to talk. Do you think that's going to be fairly subjective relative to the times we live in, or the society we're in, or the country we're in?
I would say so, but I'm also very biased as a history teacher. I think everything's mostly, a lot of the cultural norms are subjective to time and place. So, yes, it
Okay.
is.
Can I ask another question?
Just briefly, I would say that the word cult has taken on those negative connotations. Back in the olden days, there was the cult of ISIS and the cult of, it was more like a group of followers around a certain personage or deity or system of rituals, but lately it's taken on more of it's taken more to refer to high control groups.
No, I have a question.
My turn, please.
I just saw this.
I did say that after Michael. I did say I'm not to be a pernickety ass.
This is a quick question. I'm not
Only
because
because you've got a sexy ginger tash. Go on, really quickly.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. So, why does it say Michael Granado, he, him? Do you think I can't tell that you're a man?
Okay, that's the end of that conversation. Judo,
I can answer
your
that
turn.
real quick.
No.
I can answer that real quick. I'm just showing my support for the trans community.
Boom. Easy
You notice
done.
that I didn't have it. You don't notice that I didn't have a she/her after my name, and
Yeah,
you
see,
also
Stephanie's
noticed.
a real woman.
You also noticed perhaps the trouble it caused.
Aha.
Well, no.
Okay, I'm assuming it's my turn now.
Explain that.
Not going back and
I
forth.
explained that. I thought
we're not going back
MathPig
and
was
forth.
speaking, not you.
We're not going back and forth. Michael gave an answer. Stephanie pointed out why it's actually relative to the conversation and what mistakes can happen when it's not there. And I did promise judo after Michael. So I'm trying to be as fair as I can. Everybody's had their go. Everybody got a point in. All we're going to do afterwards is just fucking argue we disagree. So let's disagree with judo. Judo, what would you like to say?
I disagree.
Firstly, this is YouTuber Ultimated Judeo-Christian. Secondly, we are all religious because we all have a way of life, indirectly or directly, to our Judeo-Christian / biblical God. And I could prove this with an ultimative categorical syllogism proving Judeo-Christian / biblical presuppositionalism. If A is...
And this is the problem, right? This is what we're trying to, the
A lot of $5 words there.
Why was I muted?
Yeah, you're going to be muted again because you're telling us what we think. You haven't asked a single question to anybody in the panel. You're telling us what we think.
I actually don't think he's telling us anything.
I said I will prove it.
No. Don't want me pick you. Do not make me put you to the back room. Respect me muting you because it's my fucking channel. Alright? Simple as that. I don't give a fuck if I'm hypocritical. I don't give a fuck if I overtalk people. I really don't care.
I just whipped your ass.
You can just wait backstage or you can leave. Simple as that. Okay?
In all fairness, I don't think he was trying to assert our beliefs. I think he was trying to just play some. I'm just saying. I think he was trying to play some weird definitional games.
He's trying to play some weird definition games, but the point I'm trying to say is, do not tell me or anyone else in the panel what we think. Do not then say you can fucking prove you're correct because of some stupid syllogism. Bullshit. Don't give a fuck. Nobody here gives a fuck. All you're going to try and do is play a troll. So be open to a conversation. Talk to the people in here. Ask us questions. Find out what we fucking think. The whole point of the night's conversation. Or are you just here to pay money so we can listen to you?
Well,
Now
firstly,
you're
it's an ultimative.
I agree with.
It's an ultimative categorical syllogism. So I said indirectly or directly. So that's implicitly or explicitly. So I can prove this. You're on the hot seat. You're possibly just dodging.
Oh,
You're
yes,
all on the
I'm
hot seat.
I'm dodging. The guy that spent fucking 45 minutes trying to prove to me that I can't fucking show that protostars existed, and that way means gravity doesn't exist, so therefore God. Alright? Philip Cornelius, go back on my channel. May be the same person, may not be the same person. It's fucking biblically. But go on ahead. I'm
Can I
dodging.
present
Ask me
my
any question you
syllogism?
want. Ask me a genuine question about what I think on a topic, a subject. Don't ask me a fucking bullshit thing where you expect me to give you a label or something that means a thing. Ask a genuine question about something that matters to me, something you think that matters. Don't tell me something. Ask me something. Go.
What is your definition of God?
Some sort of a creator
Now,
deity.
how would you like that?
Allow him to
definition?
respond.
No, I'm trying. No. I'm trying to give you
not
the
the
answer that
moderator.
you want, and you have asked me a very vague question. Would you like me to give you a definition of an omnipotent, omnipresent, all of this sort of definition? There's also the definition of like Greek gods, where they are humankind, but they can do some sort of shit. Then there's like Yahweh, and there's lots of particular definitions of God. Me personally, I don't believe in a God. So if a person like you asked me, I would have to say back what I think you think a God is. Because I don't really have a particular thing. There's so many out there. We could go fucking elephants with 6 arms. Do you want to go that way? Like, there's so many out there.
Well, you've just been contradicting yourself, so there can only be one God definitionally, as there can only be one ultimate truth. Complementing
You
the law
ask
of
me
identity.
what I define as something, and then you
I'm
tell me
correcting
I'm
your
wrong.
mistakes first.
I have a question for
So,
you.
Oh, no,
you,
no,
You
Stephanie,
asked
if
me
I
a
can.
loaded. You
I-
asked me
I
a
have-
loaded
No,
question.
Stephanie, if I can,
I
for
have
like
a-
5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to open it up, please.
You've asked me a loaded question. You've assumed
You
false
asked me
premises.
a question. You said, how would
Interrupting
I
me.
define God? And I asked, how would you like it? There's lots of definitions of God, and people who believe in God define God their own way. I don't believe in God. I don't have a definition of a God, so I have to take my definition from what I expect the person I'm talking to believes. I know you're a presuppositionist, so you're omni this, omni that, and all the rest of it, fucking blah, 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 blah. So I'm taking your internal critique of what you think God is. I don't have a belief in God. Don't. Same as I don't have a belief in the God-eating monster.
The
I don't
pronoun
think the God-eating
I
monster
presuppose.
exists. Do you think the God-eating monster exists?
No, that,
Yeah, you see, you
well,
don't want to
firstly,
have that conversation.
you're just gish
again 'cause it's a
galloping.
waste of
Let
fucking
me.
time.
I answered your
no.
question. Now you gish. Hang on. Give me more than 5 seconds. The pronoun I references God. Because you are a temporality, you are subject to our ultimate, perfect Judeo-Christian God. Backing premise 1 of my syllogism that you're possibly dodging.
Yeah.
Biblically / awesomely God's ultimate truthful love. Premise 2, God authorized the Bible / biblicalism from Genesis 1:1 to Revelation 22 verse 21.
Stephanie's
Conclusion.
so engrossed in what you're
Thus,
saying, she can't
you're on
even
the hot
take her
seat. You have to
cigarette.
you have to respond to this. Stop interrupting me. You have to respond to this. Conclusion. Thus, Judeo-Christian / biblical presuppositionalism follows. I can go.
No.
Don't
Again,
fucking
we are
tell me
we are
what to
going to
fucking
be
do
stuck.
on
We are
my
going to
fucking
be
channel.
stuck
No,
right on premise
Don't
1 again.
fucking tell me what to do on my fucking channel. I made a joke to Stephanie. Wasn't interrupting you. Was very quiet. Don't be a fucking dick. You're full of bullshit. Just don't be a dick.
What is your response to premise 1?
My response to premise 1 is the thing that I said before you put it forth in a fucking argument. Don't disagree with me. Don't tell me what I think. Don't tell me you can then prove it with an argument and then put forth premises. I
Firstly,
disagree with
don't
premise
slander
1.
me.
God doesn't exist.
You just presuppose God. When you say God doesn't exist, you are presupposing him, as the word exist is a verb. A verb is a doing word. So all you're saying is God doesn't do things. God does do things by definition, as he has revealed himself to us through sacred theology
what
or
you're-
slash
what you're-
revealed
If I
theology.
can just
You know-
ask him a question, and then Stephanie, I would like to hear his response, and I will then give it to you. Okay? I don't mean to be rude, but I'm trying to.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's your channel.
What?
I respect.
That's a comment.
No, don't. Seriously, I'm going to give you the respect, and I'm not going to fucking go and have to go through the editing and fucking, like, there's a whole thing going on with it. Don't. Just shush for 1 minute, please. Okay? I'll even refer
Just
to
mute
you.
that
I'll
person,
even
that's-
refer to you as fucking Judeo. See? I was trying to be nice to you.
So I'll just repeat what
Oh,
I was
no, he
saying.
won't. No, he can't. No, he can't. He can't. It's physically impossible. It's physically impossible. I'm going
God
to
is
ask
not
you one
physical
fucking
defaultly.
question. Right? I just woke my daughter. I'll guarantee you that I just woke my daughter. Shut the fuck up, or I will just kick you and will not continue the conversation. What is the fucking point of you being here? To have a conversation with us, to talk about what we think, or to tell us what we think, and then try and prove yourself right? Because seriously, it's got to the point where you have to pay people to fucking talk to you. You silly, boring bastard. Fucking have a conversation with people. No, don't you have a conversation with people or fuck off. Simple. This is your last go. Ask questions, get to know us. Fucking go on, prove me wrong.
Stop interrupting me. So I said earlier that I'm happy enough to engage the panel, those who are against Judeo-Christianity. I asked you a question on what is your definition of God, and then you responded with fallaciousness, because there can only be one God by definition, as that you need to stop interrupting
you
me.
didn't
You're
engage
possibly
the
just
panel.
dodging.
Yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I give you an answer that you didn't like. That's the truth. You asked me to define God. I love the way you keep fucking clicking the button. Like you fucking... Mine. I give you an answer you didn't like. You disagree with my answer, and you're entitled to. I'd say probably half the people in this panel disagree with my fucking definition of God. And they're also entitled to. Right? You know, you're a prat. And I'm going to kick you. And the worst of it is, yeah, I love that. Go on, try again. Try. I don't even have to do it. Hands free. I'm going to kick you. I'm going to bring in... Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. Thanks, biblically. You mean entertainment? Worse. Ba-da-bum, ba-da-ba-bum. And then, would anybody like to add anything to the conversation now that I have given everybody permission?
You really know how to find some interesting people, MathPig.
Pardon?
I said you really know how to find some interesting people. Huh?
Oh, I found this motherfucker a long time ago. Yeah. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna give out hugs. Is everybody ready to give out hugs?
Oh yeah.
Good. I hope that everybody's full of hugs. I don't give a shit what you did, Judo. You can sit in the backstage. There's a link for anyone else that would like to join. And,
yeah, because I gotta head out.
I think it's kind of important to understand. This is not for anybody here necessarily, but anybody who might be listening. If you want to have a conversation, first understand what a conversation is. It's a back and forth. It's not an assertion. It's not a continual jump around and stamp your feet. I mean, I like to hear new ideas. I'm amenable to changing. And what I don't like is a bunch of assumptions based on what you think I think. I would like you to interact with me, and then we can find out what each other thinks. Being dogmatic and being preachy, find yourself a church.
Mm-hmm. And this is what it's come to, where Jill is better than biblically. Has everybody got their hugs ready?
Not actually, no. Biblical is better than I am, because he preaches the gospel.
Why is all the Christians so adverse to me giving them compliments and olive branches and all the night? I keep saying nice things about the Christians, and they keep being like, "No, I don't want your fucking love. Fuck off."
And that's all he'll talk about. So I give him credit for that. That's very hard to do as a Christian. That's what our goal is, actually. As a conversationalist, our conversation should be in heaven, according to Philippians 3.
Now, don't you start. And so what you're saying is, because he's obsessive, spends all his time and literally paid a guy to talk to him. I took him off their hands for free. I got bored with him. They paid another guy to go and talk with him. He's got, would you lower yourself? Would you, right? Here's a question. Would you give me $30 so I would give you an hour and a half of my time? Do you think that I'm worth 30 of your dollars, Joe?
$30?
Yep.
Well, what are we going to talk about? The gospel? Yes.
Whatever you want. If you give me £30, $30, whatever, $30, whatever you want to say, would you lower yourself to do that? To come on to my channel?
I have to lower why do I have to lower myself? Why is that even a stipulation?
Well, I can have a conversation with Michael for free. I've just met Impulsive Viper, and Impulsive Viper has talked to me for at least 5 hours for free. It's called conversation. Do you think that you need to pay me? Because that's what people will say. That's how it will look to the community. It'll be like, fuck me, Jill is scraping the barrel that he has to pay people to talk to him. Would you do that? Do you think that's a good thing?
If you made that a stipulation, I certainly wouldn't. You came up with that, not me.
No. What I'm saying is that this is how the community and the people around would see you. And I know this because that's how they see biblically.
MathPig, you're confusing yourself.
No.
You made the stipulation of $30. If you said the only way, Jill, you can talk to me is if you pay me $30, I would pay the $30.
No.
But that would be a stipulation you would be placing on the conversation, not me.
I'm saying if you paid me $30, we would talk about anything you wanted, and I wouldn't kick you for an hour and a half. I had a conversation with free. I had a conversation for free with.
Is this a hypothetical, or are you actually want me to pay you $30? I'm confused.
No, the point of the conversation is, as everybody else has grasped here, is that judo has got that bad. He has to pay people to talk to him.
Oh, is that right?
He's better than you, but nobody will talk to him unless he pays them.
That's how it was in the first century. No one would talk to the Christians. They rather kill them. That's the goal. That's what we strive towards. That's
absolutely and utterly hate.
Yeah, they hated me first, Jesus said.
No, I hate Impulsive Viper.
That's it. Yeah, that's my goal. I hope to be just like.
Jill, can you see the live chat?
What's that?
Elusive Viper, by the way.
Elusive Viper, sorry. What did I say?
A $30 joke. That's awesome.
Impulsive Viper, although granted that I just made a $30 joke. That's fair. That's fair.
It's an impulse purchase, yeah.
Do you remember Leo? You met Leo earlier. Elusive Viper, you met Leo earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Leo was here one night where he'd like had 10 beers, right? And he was like a rocket. And there's a guy in the community that only appears, used to be here for ages. People made him feel that bad. He left. He's a particular type of Christian. I'm not going to say his name or whatever because I particularly like John. But that's not his YouTube name, so people not. But anyway, he came in one night and was watching, was like, I'll pay you $50 just to fucking kick Leo. He won't shut up. And he did. He paid it. Go. Are you there, Michael?
Oh, I wasn't there.
No,
That's
you're not, no.
hilarious.
I brought him back
That's
after like 5 minutes, but I did. I kicked him. So, right, Jill, I was planning on going to bed, but you now have me. I'm going to give you an hour, all right? Because 3:30 is my bed. You've got an hour. The floor is yours. It's all elusive.
I don't need the floor. I don't.
No. Someone has actually paid to give you the floor for an hour and a half. Any
Give them the money back.
I have to wait 3 months before
I
get
don't
it.
care either way. I thought it was a funny meme.
Don't worry, YouTube's taking 30% of it anyway. So.
What would you like to talk about, John? Here's a question. The reason this entire show is happening is because of Let's Debate. It's a new channel on YouTube. They're taking over 2,000 people from Discord and trying to move them towards YouTube, which you would appreciate because you don't do Discord. And a lot of the debates, you would destroy all them people. And on top of that, you can pick on their internet connection left, right, and center. Some guy's internet connection broke out the other day. He had to get solar panels on. You live the
I'm already subbed, MathPig.
Pardon?
I'm already subscribed.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
I subscribed a few days ago, actually.
Did you watch tonight's stream?
I did not, no.
Apart from the outro not working, it was me producing. I think it looked really well. I liked it. Thought it nice.
Not bad for a first try for us.
Look, at the end of the day, you know, Sparrow, your starting point was modern day debate. So, like, you know, it's not hard to not step in shit. You know, so you've got.
So, am I the only Christian in the room?
No, Elusive Viper is a theist. I don't know if I can describe it.
No.
Shut up, go with it. Fucking
Christian.
I thought you were good. I thought you were kind of
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can answer maybe 2 Bible questions.
Sure.
then I have to go.
Do you think that free will is compatible with your form of Christianity?
I love this guy.
The Bible does not teach you have free will. Freedom of choice, but not free will.
So, would you define that as the illusion of choice?
No, you have choice, but God can intervene at any point and change your plans.
Okay, so that when you say freedom of choice, what do you mean? You can choose as long as it's not what God doesn't want you to do?
You can choose what God puts before you, Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Puffs, but not Mars rocks unless one falls from the sky. Okay? So you can put what God has for you on this planet, you can use, and you can choose whether you want to smoke poison ivy or whether you want to smoke marijuana. So don't you try to use Genesis, every seed-bearing plant, because poison ivy, I don't see you putting that in the blunt, poison ivy, and that's a seed-bearing plant.
My argument is that
I've seen guys wrap around their dick on a first date to make it look bigger.
My argument is that God made you in such a way that you will like something. You are predisposed to some certain choice. Therefore, God caused you to pick whatever you're going to pick for whatever decision you're going to make ever.
Well,
if you want to go
that's not the
get
creation
some ice cream tomorrow, God predisposed you to like pistachio ice cream. So you're going to pick pistachio ice cream whether you really wanted to or not.
I don't think God is micromanaging those decisions that are inconsequential, but certainly the death of his son, which was important for all of humanity, and where God will then do
Well, it doesn't
But
matter
God's not
if he
gonna
was
get involved
microman.
with you
It
with
doesn't matter
you
if he was
about that type
micromanaging
of
them or
choice.
not. He caused every single decision, or you would argue that he caused every single factor that would go into your decision, whether it's how many flavors of ice cream there are, or what configurations your taste buds are, or maybe when you get hungry. Every single decision is going to be a factor of God made this, right?
We would say that God created the universe knowing that you would choose to be an atheist, for example.
Sure. So did God cause me to be an atheist? Because he could have done differently.
Well, if you're talking about the problem of evil, which isn't a problem in Christianity,
I'm not
God
talking about a problem with
created.
evil. I'm
Well,
talking about a
atheism is
problem with
evil.
determinism.
Right. When you determine the two things like atheism, that's evil. So God created we could say he actualized evil when he created humans. He created the potential for evil.
But so would you say that there is some sort of decision that God is not a cause for? That God didn't create our souls, or God didn't create our bodies, or what part of a decision-making process is God not responsible for, and we are?
God created everything from nothing, including you, knowing that you would choose evil. So that's a potential or
Well,
an
that's not a potential. You
actualization.
would say that is a fact. That is a brute fact. God knows that I am going to choose evil. God created me knowing I will choose evil.
Yes.
Therefore, God created me to choose evil.
God created you to choose evil.
Yeah.
He created the potentiality, yes.
Potentiality.
Yeah.
Would you say that I have the ability to choose something other than what God has designed for me?
Well, if that were the case, then he would have created a universe where that would have been the case.
Okay, so then I don't have potentiality. I have whatever God has designed for me, right?
You have choice within what God has designed. Yes, you have to choose from A or B, and you chose.
Yeah, but you haven't given me an A or B. You've given me an A or A.
So God chose to create a universe in which humans would have volition, which they would have the freedom to choose.
Between A or A?
And knowing what they would choose, yes.
But that's not a choice. That is just, you have this selection between this and also this.
Well, what's your alternative for God if he wants to create? What's the alternative?
No, I think God as a creator deity is inevitably incompatible with free will.
You want to create, but you cannot create something that is perfect like yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't be God anymore. So then that's exactly what Isaiah says in Isaiah 42. There's no God created before him or after him. So you want to create. So by default, what you create is going to be less perfect than you or not perfect. Therefore, they're going to make decisions that are sub-perfect.
Not decisions. But
Okay.
by being
So the only solution will be for God not to create. That's the only.
By
That's the
being
third
a
alternative.
creator deity,
The only
just by being a creator deity, that alone determines every decision ever.
You're missing
that
the
will
point.
ever be made.
When God, if it's Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and they're perfect, the only solution is to not to create. Once you create something, it naturally will rebel. It naturally will be shorter or fall short, or be less than you. Therefore, imperfect. Therefore, prone to error.
Are you rejecting some form of determinism then?
If you want to consider that determinism, that God chose to create a world, he determined that world will be less than him, because nothing can be as eternal by simply him creating that. What he creates already is imperfect by definition, because he is perfect and he's eternal. He's always existed. So the only solution is for God not to create. God could not have created a world in which beings never messed up. That's an impossibility.
So God only created a world in which beings did which he wanted them to do.
I'm saying it's impossible for God to create a world in which beings do not mess up.
What do you mean by mess up?
Fall short of his glory, meaning make mistakes, errors.
So
like atheism.
So people don't make errors.
People do they choose to make errors. Of course. That's the point. The only solution is for God not to create. Now, if you want to argue that God would be more moral if he didn't create, then so be it. But I'm
not arguing from a morality
creating despite
arguing from
those.
a logistical.
Can I finish my sentence before you cut me off? But I think it would be a more moral God to create despite knowing that they would fall and fail and die. I think that would be more moral than not to create at all.
That's fine. I'm not arguing from a morality perspective. I'm arguing from a logical perspective.
Logical perspective, okay. It's illogical to create, to not to create, as opposed to create.
No. It is illogical if you are creating everything in existence to think that you are not responsible for every decision in existence.
Who said he wasn't responsible? I just said he was.
Oh, okay.
He created a world.
You would agree that God is responsible for every decision ever.
Yes, because he created, by him simply deciding to create, knowing all of the potentialities, knowing all of the contingencies, everything that would happen, rape, abortion. He knew all these things would happen and he still created anyway. I'm telling you that the alternative is an absurdity. It actually will put you out of existence. So don't wish for it, atheist.
Well, it's not wishing for it. The resulting logical aftermath of that is that God wished for all this to happen. Assuming
The alternative is that he doesn't wish for anything to happen, therefore you don't exist. Which one do you want to choose?
It's not
the
about
red
what I
pill
want
or
to
the blue
choose.
pill?
It's not about
I'll
what I
take
want to choose.
the red pill.
I'm trying to get you to agree
I want
with
to
the
exist. I don't know about
logical
you.
following of what your argument entails.
It's no logical. This isn't a logical issue.
No. I think
don't
we're
have
in
a
agreement
problem
here.
with God doing it and creating this world in which evil would occur. I don't have a problem with it because I realize that the alternative, which you want to ignore, is non-existence.
No. I'm fine with that. So I think then we can agree that if somebody were in a God-created world, if someone were to do a crime of some sort, that it would not necessarily be their moral failing; it would be God's moral failing. Because
That's
God is
not
the one.
gonna.
Well, because God is the one who decided that would happen, right?
Okay, so if you were to go and stand before God and say, you know what, you should have never created, therefore that's why I chose to eat that 7th slice of pizza. No, you chose to eat the 7th slice of pizza. Okay, so you're guilty. You can't blame God because he knew that you would make those choices and decided to create a world in which that would be actualized.
He didn't know that I would make those choices. He made those choices.
He made those choices by deciding to create a world in which you would choose to make that choice.
Exactly.
When he could have created world B in which you were the Christian and I was the atheist, right?
Actually, no. It's not because he could have created
an
world
alternative
B.
universe, maybe?
No. It's just because he created world A, and everything like if are you familiar with the idea of Laplace's demon?
Oh God. Okay.
Sorry, I don't want to go like forever here.
You're
so
missing
you feel
the point.
Free to stop us
the point is the alternative, regardless of how bad you want to make the decision. The alternative.
Don't apologize to me. You fucking paid to do this. You fucking knocked.
You can come up with the most heinous of reasons as to why God shouldn't have created this world, but the alternative is non-existence. I choose this world. What do you choose?
It's not about alternatives.
Yes, it is.
No. It's not about alternatives.
I just told you it's an impossibility that.
Yep, yeah, that's what's going to happen, Jill. You talk, he goes talk, I'm going to mute you. Go on ahead.
Oh, he overtalked me 20 times.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I don't
was
give a fuck.
my problem.
I don't give a fuck. He paid me to let you talk, so I want to hear his opinion. So
Okay. Right.
no, I don't.
No. I go ahead.
There you are. You have permission from the smiley face to talk.
So I understand you think you have an argument from evil or a problem of evil. You think that's logical, but it's not. It's illogical because the alternative to God not creating is no creation, non-existence. That's the alternative. I think God did the right thing. Don't you? Take a deep breath and ask your lungs if God did the right thing. I think he did the right thing.
I don't think this is an argument from evil.
Sorry, muting everybody. Dr. Tapioca Weasel has just give out 5 memberships to just random people in the chat. So like that's a month's memberships. That's an awful lot of support for the channel. All right. So I just want to say thank you very much to a theoretical physicist in the chat who's actually working on designing a new gravitational wave detector and all. Like, it's very smart man. You'll find him all the time in Maya's. If you're there, Tapioca, you know you've got Blue. Share Maya's link. He's been hanging out with Maya an awful lot. Seriously, man, thank you very much for that. That's very appreciative. Go on ahead, Jill, or whoever was talking. I didn't care.
Does he have anything to add to the conversation? Because that's a huge donation there.
That's a massive
problem of evil solved. Next question.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a problem of evil. It's
I love
a
that.
problem
Someone
of
throws money at my channel. Jesus Lord, it's just a problem of evil solved.
Which one do you want? Evil or non-existence? Take your choice. Take your pick.
I'm not addressing evil. I'm just addressing determinism.
What does that even? What does determinism mean?
Determinism is the idea that essentially everything is causal. If two atoms collide together, there's going to be a resulting effect. So
yes, God is the first uncaused cause.
Sure, fantastic.
Everything.
So if you take all of those uncaused causes, and then you're going to last this demon earlier. So if you were to theoretically know the position and behavior like God would for every atom in the universe, because he created them, you would know everything that would ever happen in the future.
Dr. Weasel, you're gonna make me do shit now. I have to think of shit to do.
We've already confirmed that's the case.
Okay, so then God would be responsible causally for all decisions that would ever be made in the future.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Because he decided to create. Yes.
Fantastic.
Once he made that decision, he's responsible. Yes.
Sure. So
Amen.
His decision to create means.
So why aren't you worshiping him?
For everything that would ever happen.
Why aren't you worshiping him then? If that's
because I don't think being a god is necessarily all that you would need to be worshipped.
If that was true, would you worship him if he was responsible for it? Wow.
There is no criteria that could be met to me worship a god.
All right, carry on.
Well, it's very good of you to let him carry on my channel. Thank you.
Certainly would. If whoever did this, you have my service. Whatever you do, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. If you did this.
Oh, somebody soundbite that Titan.
The solar system alone. If you just the solar system alone,
right? Somebody also go back about 6 months ago and look at the gay video we did and put the two of them together. Oh, we're gonna have some fun. Go ahead, sorry.
So hello. I guess Jill is still here because why not?
Well, Jill just admitted he'd do anything for a certain amount of money, and I've heard him say an awful lot of very homophobic things as well, and we can put the two of them together and have a lot of fun in the soundbite. But go on ahead.
no such thing as a homophobic.
Yes, there is, but that's besides that's neither here nor there.
Are you a raccoon now?
Yep. Yes, I am.
No idea.
It's a raccoon sparkle.
What have you thought of the conversation tonight?
I didn't watch the entire thing. I watched on and off. Apparently there was a debate at another channel. This is
Literally, my finger is hovering over the remove button. It's like, let's talk about me, because I didn't bother me arse watching any of your show, the debate, the other channel, or fuck off.
I mean, I never
I'm a
said let's
raccoon.
talk about. I never said let's talk
I'm a
about me.
raccoon. Talk about me.
I always wonder why people come up with dumb decisions humans make when they want to talk about how evil God is for creating. You forgot someone. He created Satan. Oh my goodness. What an evil God. No one ever uses it. You guys ever wondered that? Why don't atheists use that as a
Why do
problem
not? Why? Hold on now. You just asked, why do atheists not use the existence as the devil for a reason?
Yeah.
Hold
Right.
on. No.
Why would
Let
God
me
do that?
finish. Let me finish. Why do atheists not use the existence of the devil for a reason of the problem of evil?
No, well, I don't
Because
mean the existence of the devil, the creation of the story says, you don't have to believe it. I know you're atheist. I get it, MathPig. But the story says that God created this being, right? That's causing all this trouble. And you guys always talk about the rape and the typical babies being born premature, et cetera, right?
Right. I'm
But
going to.
I was just thinking, like, why don't you guys ever say, why did God create Satan? That's evil, right?
Well, the obvious answer
Right.
is God's not all powerful.
No,
And that's the only way that he could do things in order to create a perfect world.
Joe.
All right.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
Would you steal, man, in the 5 years, nearly, from 2018 when I joined the community, probably 2019 when maybe we met, but that's at least 4 years. In the 4 years that we've interacted, like, the time is yours. Someone paid for you. Could you steal, man?
No one paid for me. Please stop saying that.
Oh,
Jesus
no.
paid.
You're a
for my sins,
dirty boy, and elusive viper left it on your nightstand. Could you steal, man, my position? What do you think from all the time that we've interacted?
Your
Right?
position on what?
My belief system, my version of God, what do I believe, and all the rest of it. I will be genuinely honest. No. I'll be genuinely honest, and I will not say, oh, you're bullshit or anything like that. I have certain beliefs that would lean a wee bit this way and lean a wee bit that way. We've interacted for 4 years, right?
I don't know about
and
that.
Please, I bet you that elusive viper will give a better
you-
description. But you go for it. Go.
Well, I don't know if it was 4 years, but maybe off and on, you sort of ran from me and avoided me for a few years there after you admitted in our debate that North Korea was a religious country, a religious nation,
I shared our debate with at least
which is
3 people
absurd.
tonight. At least
But
3 people tonight.
that was your claim in the debate. So, and then you rage quit, and I was banned, and you know the story.
So not describing my position, just ranting about how you're better than me. Okay, narcissism. All right, thanks for everything.
What narcissism? What?
All about you.
Atheist.
I asked you a direct question. Answer the question. Steal, man, my position. In the 4 years,
we've
you're
talked
bound, even, man, seriously, even if you'd have banged your head off a fucking wall once a week, you're bound to have picked up some small things of what I believe.
Oh, man,
4 years. Go. What's my position?
We've talked about a dozen topics. Give me one. Give me one topic, and then I can still.
What is my general belief system on God?
Okay, you're an atheist or agnostic, weak atheist. You're weak.
Beta.
Is that right? Did I get that right?
I don't know. Your mum shouts, "Hey, Robbie," whenever I fuck her from behind, but that makes me a bit.
What?
So you're not worth talking to because you didn't give me any sort of an answer whatsoever. We're getting very close to the end of the night. It's getting late, and I'm not really going to waste my time with you, Jill. I asked you to steal my position on what I believe in God. and you just proved that you don't listen. So, and all that. Sparrow, thank you for sticking with us from the very beginning to the very end, and after party and all that.
Thanks for having me.
No, I appreciate you coming over and sticking right to the end and putting up with all of this. Stephanie, I apologize for certain people's behavior earlier. It is open panels, this is what it is, and I tried a couple of tags tonight which may have brought in some. At least one of them apologized and gave you the floor and then got his opportunity, so I hope the idea came across. And Snowball.
Yes.
Yeah, all about you. It's all about you.
Oh, well, thanks for letting me on after I told you it was me. Because you're like, wait a minute. You know what I mean? You didn't even
Change
say.
one thing at a time. Don't change your icon and your fucking name. You know, change your icon manually. Change
Well,
both.
fuck
What
you
the
too.
fuck?
Yeah, it's
You don't trademark Sparkle, okay? I'm just letting you know. You don't trademark Sparkle. I get that it's you now and I understand, but don't change two things at once. It's like, what the fuck?
okay. Well, I'll remember that. I'll remember that next time I'm thinking about changing. I'll be like, never change.
Yep. Never change. Yeah.
Don't
Don't
go
forget to
change.
like and subscribe to this channel, and also to Let's Debate, the previous video from tonight. This after party is about. Description. Click it, link it, like it, lick it, poke it. Think for yourselves. You know, go out there, join the Discord. If you do the Discord thing, there's daily debates, weekly competitions. You get to pick your own. You're back.
Yeah, my computer decided to die on me.
Right. Well, we're gonna work. No. We're working around the room. We're gonna give Sparrow the floor. Sparrow, shout out the Discord. Shout out everything. Anything I missed, go for it.
Yes. Our Discord is Let's Debate. We've got lots of ways for you to debate people, and on pretty much any topic that terms of service allows. We can schedule debates right there in the Discord, or we can work with you and schedule something for the YouTube channel. So we can offer that. And we're now, tonight we did our first live. We're doing Let's Talks. We're going to do debates. And we're going to do some educational series on fallacies. So we're going to have a fallacy show, and we're working on that. So we got stuff in the works. So Let's Debate on YouTube and Let's Debate on Discord.
Yeah, and for anyone that followed over from the original debate here to that, I know a few people, like, I can't pronounce their name. Is it We Believe, or whatever their name was? They wanted to debate me in Discord, but still have the conversation and stuff. And we were chatting in the chat, and the idea of having the debate on Discord on the stage function that's available while still streaming live to YouTube, combining the two of them, I think that what Sparrow, Let's Farm, and Sweet Pea, and Phil, what do you call the other person?
Perpetually Annoyed.
Perpetually Annoyed. Sorry, I only met them tonight. What they've built over there with such a big community with Discord, it's an audience that's not been, I don't want to use the word tapped or anything like that, but it's a lot of people who are very respectful because of the situation and bringing that idea of rules and regulations and what they have going there. It's definitely give it a like, give it a subscribe, definitely worthwhile. Next we got Stephanie, and everybody mute their mics. If one person interrupts Stephanie, I'm going to shoot you up.
Don't worry, I won't go off again. That was just weird. Like, Jesus Christ, can't get a word in edgewise. And then, oh wait, this mouthy bitch wants to actually talk. That's all what's going on. Anyway, well, for me tomorrow, I'll be at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'll be joining Skeptic Haven and a few people there talking about domestic abuse in religious groups. And let's see, what else is coming up? Oh, I don't know. Hither and yon. Oh yeah, on Sunday, I'll be. What's the guy's name? I'm having a senior moment at the moment. I'll be also doing a live stream with another YouTuber, and I have an itsy bitsy teeny weeny YouTube channel that if you want to see
Please,
an atheist,
share Stephanie's link.
if you want to see an atheist talk to a Methodist congregation on Transgender Day of Remembrance, that's the video that's up there, and a couple of streams.
The minister.
But otherwise,
just on that topic, the minister that my brother picked, they picked to get married. Now they did do a religious service. Not that my brother's religious or anything, but it's the thing, The person that they did pick, we had to do a rehearsal in the church. Then the week before they actually got married in the hotel, the place, where they got married. But whenever I walked in, the very first thing I noticed at the back of the church was a LGBTQ rainbow flag in the very back of the church. I'm actually subscribed to his YouTube channel, and they do a service. He's very progressive. Me and him were out the back fucking talking longer than the whole fucking rehearsal talk. Like, it was, some churches, some religions can be.
It's a long topic. There are good people in places that you might not expect to find them, and any sort of bigotry is anathema to me. You can't count out allies.
I try to be my best. I am I'm a straight white guy, with a sexy ass, but I'm a straight white guy. So it's
indeed.
Thank you.
Well,
I try to be an
rumor
ally.
has it.
That's the point. Don't just agree with I have a sexy ass. Let me say I'm also an ally.
No. I'm saying we have testimonial of, I believe, perhaps footage. I don't know. Of thongs and whatnot, and I hear tell and kind of
twice a year.
Whatever. Yeah, there you go. So that's it.
Thank you. And Elusive Viper as the last. Hold on, let me just finish. I'm not even going to say it. Elusive Viper, as your first night here in the pigsty, as your first night meeting me and the group of people that we hang out with, and what sort of happens over here. Did you just randomly search and find the other channel? You came from the Discord? Yes.
Oh no, I'm actually an admin in the Let's Debate channel.
Yes, that's what you said. Yes, I remember you saying that. Here, I only have honorary mod status. I don't fucking look at these people. Sometimes if someone tags me in chat, I look. I don't look at these things. So from your first night here, oh my goodness, I think I wrote these kids backwards. I believe you. What have you felt of your night in the pigsty? Your first time here, and have you?
I think it's been pretty good. I think I might be biased because I think my my meme super chat bought me a very interesting conversation for a little bit. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good time.
Yeah, another $20. I had to get naked after everyone else left, man. You didn't even know that.
Shh, don't tell them.
You missed out. Yeah, I got a thong with a bow tie and all. Like every Christmas, every Christmas and or New Year's and
for random super chats, yeah.
No, my followers, my community buys me an outfit, and I feel obligated to buy it. I feel obligated to wear it. And over this last 3 or 4 years, it has got smaller and smaller and smaller to the point of. I think it was last year on my birthday or whatever. It was literally like a fucking leopard print G-string. It was like, what the fuck, these bastards.
They're just wearing you down, man.
I'm not even gonna go there. No. But,
Have they have they made you wear one of those like that lime green thing, you know, on that Borat wears?
Oh, that was the first. Oh no, that's what they started with. Okay, it
No,
went
I
from that
heard-
to a red and black one with a thing here with a bow tie. Then it went to some. I don't even. I'm not even gonna go down the route. Don't even.
No, I don't want to give your audience any ideas, but I heard that you did a stream at one point where you were wearing like a cat headset. So I don't know. Maybe that's.
Oh no, that was
maybe
me.
that's-
That was me when I was camping. Yeah, I was camping for that. And,
I'm lying. I'm giving them ideas.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Mr. Tapioca Weasel has posted. Oh no, it's not. It's Steph's link. Thank fuck. I thought he posted the link to. The problem with the fucking Borat one was it was a little too big, so when I did the spin, it fell off my shoulders.
Oh dear.
We need to leave. We need to leave and go offline. Right, people, I'm just going to say I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank the Let's Debate server. Thank Sparrow. Thank Let's Debate.
Thank
Or
you.
Let's Farm. Stephanie, Snowball, and my new annoying friend, Elusive Viper. Think for yourselves, people. And yeah, we'll see you back here on tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow night. I have no idea what's happening. Oh, Elusive Viper is my co-host tomorrow. Yep, we're gonna have a
Awesome.
Yeah, brilliant. Talk to you all later, and think for yourselves, people. Bye bye.